Every city has ghost stories. Some are about haunted houses. Some are about spirits wandering empty streets at night. But in Black Hollow City, the ghost people feared was real. A man without a face. A killer without fingerprints. An assassin who appeared out of nowhere, completed impossible missions, and vanished before the police even understood what had happened. The underworld called him many names. The Shadow, the Phantom, the Devil in Black. But the name that terrified everyone most was Ghost. Tonight's fictional story is a dark, cinematic crime thriller packed with assassins, secret organizations, betrayals, corruption, hidden identities, revenge, and shocking twists that will keep you hooked until the very end. Before we begin, comment below and tell us where you're watching from. And if you enjoy long, suspenseful crime stories like this, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more interesting stories. Now, lock your doors, turn down the lights, and enter the world of Ghost. Rain hammered the skyline of Black Hollow City as luxury cars lined the entrance of the Grand Meridian Hotel. Inside, the richest and most powerful people in the country gathered beneath crystal chandeliers for Senator Victor Hale's annual charity gala. Politicians laughed while cameras flashed. Billionaires drank expensive champagne. Models danced beside marble fountains. Everyone believed they were safe. No one noticed the pianist, a man in a black suit quietly playing soft jazz near the ballroom stage. Calm, invisible, watching. At exactly 11:47 p.m., the lights flickered once. Only once. Then the music stopped. The ballroom fell silent. Senator Hale stood frozen near the balcony doors. A thin line of blood slowly appeared across his throat. Then he collapsed. Women screamed. Security agents rushed forward. Guests panicked. But the pianist was gone. On top of the piano rested a single black joker card. And written on the back in silver ink were 4 terrifying words. Your sins found you. Detective Marcus Kane arrived 20 minutes later. Tall, exhausted, eyes darkened by years of failure and sleepless nights. The moment he saw the joker card, his heartbeat slowed. No, he whispered. Captain Elena Ruiz looked at him carefully. You know who did this? Marcus stared at the card. Everyone knows who did this. Elena frowned. Ghost. Marcus nodded silently. Around them, terrified officers exchanged nervous looks. Because Ghost wasn't just a killer. He was a nightmare. For nearly 20 years, powerful criminals had died under impossible circumstances. Drug lords, human traffickers, war profiteers, corrupt politicians. Every victim had escaped the law for years, until Ghost found them, and nobody ever survived. Marcus walked toward the balcony and studied the rain outside. He was here, Marcus said quietly. Elena crossed her arms. You really think one man can bypass armed security, kill a senator in a ballroom full of witnesses, and disappear without anyone seeing him? Marcus looked at her. I think Ghost wants us to believe he's one man. 22 years earlier, Adrian Vale was not an assassin. He was a father, a husband, and one of the government's greatest intelligence operatives. He lived in a quiet neighborhood far from violence with his wife Clara and their 6-year-old daughter Lily. Every evening Lily waited by the front door when Adrian came home from work. Daddy! She would jump into his arms while Clara laughed from the kitchen. For a brief moment in his life, Adrian was happy, but happiness is dangerous for men who work in darkness. One night, Adrian uncovered classified documents linking top government officials to an international criminal network known as the Syndicate. The Syndicate controlled politicians, military leaders, banks, and criminal empires across the world. Adrian copied the files secretly, but before he could expose them, someone betrayed him. At 2:14 a.m., Adrian's house exploded into flames. He woke beneath burning debris. Smoke filled his lungs. Clara screamed somewhere inside the fire. Lily cried for help upstairs. Adrian tried to reach them, but armed men dragged him outside while the house collapsed behind him. He watched his family burn alive. Or at least, that's what they wanted him to believe. That night, Adrian Vale disappeared forever, and Ghost was born from the ashes. Over the next 2 decades, Ghost became a myth whispered across every criminal organization on Earth. Nobody knew where he trained. Nobody knew who funded him. Nobody knew how many people he had killed. But criminals knew one thing. Ghost had rules. He never killed children. He never harmed innocents. And he never accepted money. Every target Ghost eliminated was connected to corruption, trafficking, murder, or organized crime. Some people secretly viewed him as a hero. Others called him a terrorist. Governments publicly denied his existence while privately fearing him. Entire cartels collapsed overnight because of him. A Russian arms dealer once hid inside a military bunker protected by 60 mercenaries. Ghost still found him. A billionaire accused of trafficking disappeared from his private yacht in the middle of the ocean. The only thing left behind, a Joker card floating in the water. Fear spread globally. Soon criminals began checking rooftops before entering buildings. They hired double security, bulletproof vehicles, private armies. None of it mattered. If Ghost chose you, you were already dead. 3 days after Senator Hale's murder, Marcus received a text message from an unknown number. Take the 1:15 subway alone. No signature. No explanation. Marcus knew immediately who sent it. Against department orders, he entered the abandoned underground transit tunnels beneath Black Hollow City. The station was empty. Dust floated through flickering lights. Then a train slowly emerged from darkness. Its brakes screamed as it stopped before him. The doors opened. Inside sat a single passenger. Ghost. Black coat. White expressionless mask. Gloves stained faintly with blood. Marcus drew his weapon instantly. Ghost didn't move. You won't shoot, Ghost said calmly. Marcus stepped forward. Give me one reason. Ghost slid a file across the seat. Marcus opened it carefully. His face darkened. Inside were photographs of government officials meeting with cartel leaders, police commanders accepting cash, judges connected to murders, and among them, Police Commissioner Daniel Cross, Marcus's mentor, the man who raised him after his father died. No, Marcus whispered. Ghost leaned back calmly. The city belongs to the Syndicate. Marcus looked up angrily. Why show me this? Ghost's voice became colder. Because you still believe the system can be saved. News of Senator Hale's death spread rapidly through the criminal underworld. Fear turned into panic when rumors surfaced that Ghost had stolen something important from the Syndicate. A list, a master file containing the names of every politician, billionaire, military leader, assassin, and crime boss secretly working with the organization. If the list became public, governments would collapse. Wars would begin. The Syndicate issued a global contract. Reward: $100 million for Ghost's death. Within hours, killers flooded Black Hollow City. Assassins from Russia, mercenaries from South America, former spies, cartel executioners, ex-special forces soldiers. The deadliest people on Earth came hunting, and Ghost welcomed them. The first attack happened at the Orion Hotel. Ghost sat alone inside room 2814 while rain hit the windows outside. Then the lights went out. He smiled beneath the mask. 6 assassins entered silently through different doors. Professional, disciplined, deadly. One carried a silenced shotgun. Another held night vision goggles. A third moved with twin knives. The hunters spread through darkness carefully. Then the killing began. Gunfire exploded. Screams echoed. Bodies crashed against walls. One assassin fell from the balcony. Another was strangled with piano wire. A third stumbled into the hallway, missing half his throat. Hotel guests ran in terror as alarms screamed throughout the building. By sunrise, 6 assassins were dead. Ghost was gone, and on every body rested a Joker card. Marcus met her during the chaos outside the hotel. A young woman wearing a dark hoodie watched the police activity silently from across the street. Green eyes, sharp expression, dangerous calmness. "You're Detective Kane," she said quietly. Marcus immediately sensed trouble. "Who are you?" "Someone trying to stop a war." She handed him a flash drive. Marcus frowned. "What is this?" "Proof the syndicate owns your police department." Marcus looked up again, but she was already walking away. "Wait." She paused briefly. "Ghost says you're running out of time." Then she vanished into the crowd. Marcus stared after her uneasily. He didn't know it yet, but the girl with green eyes would change everything. Far from Black Hollow City, inside a maximum security prison buried beneath the desert, a dangerous man watched the news silently. His name was Victor Draven, former assassin, former syndicate enforcer, the only man who had ever survived a fight against Ghost. Draven smiled slowly at the television. "So," he whispered, "you're finally coming out of hiding." Behind him, prison guards suddenly collapsed one by one. The lights died. Then came the sound of metal doors unlocking. Draven stood slowly, because only one person in the world could breach this prison. Ghost had come for him. Chaos consumed the prison within minutes. Explosions shattered security towers. Sirens screamed endlessly. Prisoners flooded corridors while guards fired wildly into smoke. Draven moved through the madness calmly until he reached the central courtyard. Ghost waited there beneath falling ash, mask glowing pale beneath emergency lights. Draven laughed. "You broke into the most secure prison on Earth just to kill me?" Ghost spoke quietly. "No." Then he tossed Draven a handgun. "I need your help." For the first time in years, Victor Draven looked afraid. Inside an abandoned cathedral beneath the city, Ghost revealed the truth. Years earlier, the syndicate discovered Adrian Vale's daughter survived the fire. Instead of killing her, they took her, raised her, turned her into a weapon. Draven stared in disbelief. "You think she's still alive?" Ghost nodded slowly. "I know she is." "How?" Ghost placed an old photograph on the table. A hidden surveillance image. A teenage girl entering a syndicate compound years earlier. Green eyes. Clara's eyes. Draven looked up slowly. The girl helping Marcus. Ghost remained silent. Draven's face darkened. "Oh God!" Eva was Lily, and she had no idea who she truly was. Commissioner Daniel Cross moved quickly after discovering Marcus had seen the files. Marcus was accused of treason, murder, and conspiracy. Every police officer in the city received shoot-on-sight orders. Marcus barely escaped an ambush at police headquarters after Elena secretly warned him. "You need to disappear," Elena whispered desperately. Marcus shook his head. "If Ghost is telling the truth, the entire city is infected." Elena looked terrified. Then maybe Ghost was right all along. At exactly midnight, Black Hollow City went dark. Every power station failed simultaneously. Traffic lights died. Communication systems collapsed. Banks shut down. Emergency lines vanished. Panic spread instantly. Then screens across the city activated. Ghost appeared live for the first time ever. Masked. Silent. Watching. "My name is Adrian Vale," he said calmly. "And your leaders sold you to monsters." Then classified syndicate files flooded the internet. The world exploded into chaos. Governments denied everything. Riots began. Politicians disappeared overnight. And somewhere deep beneath the city, Madame Seraphine smiled, because this was exactly what she wanted. Nobody knew where Seraphine came from. Some believed she was former royalty. Others claimed she once led intelligence operations during wartime. But everyone feared her. Cold, elegant, brilliant. She built the Syndicate into the most powerful criminal empire on Earth. And now Ghost had destroyed everything she created. Yet she remained calm, because she still possessed one final weapon. Lily. Snow fell heavily across the frozen coastline as Ghost traveled toward the Syndicate fortress hidden inside the mountains. Marcus, Elena, and Draven followed close behind. None of them expected to survive. Inside the fortress, Lily sat chained beside Seraphine. "You lied to me," Lily whispered. Seraphine smiled softly. "No, child." She touched Lily's face gently. "I made you strong." Tears filled Lily's eyes. "You murdered my mother." Seraphine's smile vanished. "No." She leaned closer. "Your father did." The battle began at dawn. Helicopters exploded above frozen cliffs. Mercenaries fired machine guns from watchtowers. Snow turned red with blood. Ghost moved through the fortress like death itself. Silent, precise, unstoppable. Marcus fought beside him through collapsing corridors while Elena led a rogue tactical team through underground tunnels. Draven battled Syndicate assassins in brutal hand-to-hand combat. Every hallway became a war zone, every room filled with bodies. And at the center of the fortress, Ghost finally reached Lily. She stared at him trembling. "You're my father?" Ghost slowly removed his mask. For the first time in decades, another human saw Adrian Vale's real face. Lily burst into tears. Then gunfire exploded behind them. Seraphine had returned. Seraphine aimed her pistol calmly. "You always ruin everything, Adrian." Ghost stepped protectively in front of Lily. "It ends tonight." Seraphine laughed softly. "You still don't understand." Then she pressed a detonator. The fortress began shaking violently. Explosives hidden beneath the mountain activated. The entire structure started collapsing. Marcus shouted from the doorway, "We have to go." But Seraphine smiled at Lily. "Choose carefully." Then she handed Lily a gun. "One bullet." Lily trembled violently. Seraphine whispered, "Kill your father or lose him forever." Smoke filled the collapsing chamber. Snow blew through shattered walls. Ghost stared into his daughter's terrified eyes. Then slowly, he lowered his weapon. "It's okay," he whispered. Lily cried uncontrollably. "I can't." Ghost smiled sadly. You already survived the hardest part. Seraphine screamed furiously. Do it! But Lily turned the gun towards Seraphine instead. Gunshots exploded. Seraphine collapsed backward into darkness. Then the floor beneath Ghost shattered completely. Marcus lunged forward desperately, but Ghost disappeared into the collapsing abyss below. Adrian! Lily screamed. Then the mountain exploded. 6 months later, the syndicate officially ceased to exist. Thousands of secret files exposed global corruption. Governments collapsed. Officials vanished. Criminal empires turned against each other. Marcus Kane disappeared from public life. Elena resigned from the force. Lily vanished without explanation. But strange rumors began spreading once again. Cartel leaders found dead in locked rooms. Corrupt billionaires disappearing overnight. Politicians receiving Joker cards in the mail. And somewhere far away, a train moved quietly through falling snow. Inside sat a man wearing black gloves. Across from him sat Lily. Do you think they'll stop hunting us? She asked softly. The man looked out the window silently, then slowly placed a Joker card on the table, and smiled. But just before the train entered the tunnel, another passenger walked into the cabin. A man wearing the exact same white mask as Ghost. Lily's smile disappeared instantly, because Ghost had always worked alone. So who was the second Ghost? Comment below what you think happened next. Was the second Ghost an ally or an enemy? Did Seraphine truly die? Or was the syndicate still alive somewhere in the shadows? And if you enjoyed this long fictional crime thriller, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more interesting stories filled with suspense, assassins, betrayal, and shocking twists.